Inside a small cottage on the outskirts of France, there lives a colony of common rats. But one of them is truly special, Remy, a young rat with an exceptional sense of smell and taste. He lives with his brother Emile, who's easily impressed, and his father, who's never impressed. No one values Remy's talent until he saves everyone from eating poison food. From then on, it's his job to help the colony identify safe-to-eat items. However, his refined taste causes problems. Unlike other rats, he can't eat garbage and dreams of dining like humans. His father warns him against interacting with humans, but Remy still sneaks into the cottage where an old lady lives. One day, he finds a strawberry and a piece of cheese that taste like heaven. While enjoying them, he sees a cooking show on TV featuring the famous French chef Auguste Gusteau, owner of a 5-star restaurant. Inspired by Gusteau, Remy begins to explore the world of cooking. One day, he finds a mushroom, and Emile brings a piece of rare cheese. Excited, Remy wants to cook them with rosemary over the chimney fire. As the weather worsens, lightning strikes and roasts the mushroom. Remy loves the enhanced flavor but feels something is missing: saffron. To find it, they sneak into the kitchen. Emile is scared, but Remy reassures him the old woman won't wake up, as he's been sneaking in regularly to read Gusteau's cookbook. While searching for saffron, Remy sees the news on TV. Gusteau has died, and his restaurant lost 2 stars after a harsh review by food critic Anton Ego. Distracted by the news, Remy doesn't notice the old woman waking up. She screams, grabs her gun, and shoots at them. The ceiling collapses, revealing the entire rat colony. In the chaos, all the rats escape using emergency boats, but Remy is left behind, trying to rescue the cookbook. He takes a wrong turn and gets separated from his family. Remy waits for days but receives no signal from the others. As he reads the cookbook, he imagines Gusteau talking to him, encouraging him to explore. Following the sewers, Remy eventually finds himself in Paris, just steps away from Gusteau's restaurant. He hides in the ceiling and observes the kitchen. There, head chef Skinner supervises the team harshly, and a young man named Alfredo Linguini arrives looking for a job. His late mother knew Gusteau and told him to deliver a letter to Skinner, who dismisses the letter and hires him as a garbage boy. Linguini accidentally spills soup and tries to fix it with random ingredients. Watching this, Remy panics. He falls into the kitchen, hides, and considers escaping, but decides to fix the soup instead. He washes his hands, adjusts the heat, and adds the right ingredients. Linguini sees him and hides him under a strainer. When the head chef discovers Linguini near the soup, he scolds him, but the soup is already served to a food critic, who ends up loving it. Everyone is shocked, but Colette, the only female chef, reminds them of Gusteau's motto, "Anyone can cook." Chef Skinner reluctantly allows Linguini to stay but demands he recreate the soup. Remy tries to leave but gets caught. Skinner orders Linguini to dispose of the rat. Instead, the kind-hearted Linguini lets him go, only to be surprised when Remy nods at him. They communicate, and Remy agrees to help make the soup again. Linguini brings Remy home. The next morning, food is missing from the fridge, and Linguini thinks he's been betrayed. But then he finds Remy cooking breakfast, using herbs from the neighbor's garden. Linguini warns him not to steal again. At the restaurant, Skinner demands that Linguini recreate the soup. Remy, now hungry, bites Linguini to get attention. In the walk-in refrigerator, Linguini scolds Remy but offers him cheese. Then comes the biggest challenge. How can a rat cook in a human kitchen without being seen? They discover a solution. Remy can control Linguini's movements by pulling his hair from under his hat. They stay up all night practicing. The next day, Linguini, moving strangely, cooks the soup under intense scrutiny. Skinner tastes it and approves. Colette is assigned to train Linguini. Colette, a tough and brilliant chef, believes that the culinary world excludes women due to outdated, male-dominated traditions. Yet she's made it to the top and helps Linguini learn the ropes. Meanwhile, Skinner finally reads the letter Linguini had brought. It reveals that Linguini is Gusteau's illegitimate son. If no heir appeared within 2 years, Skinner would become the restaurant's legal owner. But now that Linguini has arrived, Skinner panics. The lawyer retrieves a hair from Gusteau's preserved hat to conduct a DNA test. Skinner prays it's all fake. Linguini, unaware of his heritage, keeps working as a garbage boy. With Colette's help, he improves rapidly. She also shares that none of the chefs in the kitchen are professionally trained. One ran away at age 12, another was fired from a circus, and the others have equally unusual pasts. But they ended up working in a top kitchen because Gusteau believed that anyone can cook. However, he probably never imagined that a rat could do it too. Days pass peacefully, and Alfredo's soup becomes a big hit. But now, the customers want to try something new, on the condition that Alfredo is the one who cooks it. Skinner sees this as a chance to fire Alfredo. He gives him the most difficult recipe, one that even Gusteau never mastered. Colette advises Alfredo to follow the recipe, but Remy believes it needs to be modified. Colette scolds him for improvising, but Remy forces Alfredo to serve the altered version. The dish is served, and voila, everyone loves it. The other customers start ordering Alfredo's special too. At the end of the day, the chefs celebrate their success with a toast. Alfredo rewards the true hero, Remy, with a hearty meal. Skinner wants to uncover Alfredo's secret and offers him wine. He gets Alfredo drunk, but Alfredo doesn't reveal anything about the rat. Meanwhile, Remy finds his long-lost brother and starts stealing from the kitchen to feed him. He also visits his colony but still wants to return to the restaurant. His father takes him to a shop that displays dead rats and poisons. Remy refuses to accept that reality. He wants to create his own future and make a difference in the world. When Remy returns to the kitchen, he finds Alfredo sleeping on the floor. Skinner had made him work all night. Remy tugs his hair to wake him. Colette arrives and slaps Alfredo for ignoring her. The slap wakes him up, and just as he's about to tell her about the rat, Remy pushes him to kiss Colette. Surprisingly, she doesn't pull away. She likes him too. Meanwhile, Skinner receives the DNA test results and learns the truth. He decides to keep Alfredo's identity a secret and let the deadline pass. Unaware of all this, Alfredo is busy being a lover. He starts ignoring Remy and prioritizes Colette's advice. He even leaves Remy behind in the street during a date. Remy barely survives and realizes where he stands in the human world. He's just a filthy rat. When he returns to the kitchen, he finds Emile and his friends looking for more good food. The fridge is locked, so Remy sneaks into Skinner's office to find the key. There, he finds Gusteau's will and the DNA report. But Skinner spots him and chases him out of the kitchen. Remy escapes to the streets, even jumping onto a boat while Skinner continues the chase. Finally, Remy gets away and Skinner falls into the water. When Remy returns to the restaurant, everything has already changed. Skinner has been kicked out, and Alfredo now runs the restaurant. News spreads fast, and the media floods the place. Alfredo claims that cooking runs in his blood and says Colette is his inspiration. This upsets Remy, but he can't do anything. Renowned food critic Anton Ego arrives at the restaurant. He once hated Gusteau and wanted the place shut down. Now seeing its popularity, he challenges Alfredo to impress him. Chaos erupts in the kitchen as everyone prepares to serve Anton the next day. Remy has ideas, but Alfredo listens to Colette instead. He removes Remy from the kitchen and refuses to be his puppet. Remy feels betrayed after everything he's done. Without thinking twice, he decides to take revenge. He tells Emile to bring the whole colony. They're going to feast that midnight. The rats invade the kitchen and start raiding all the food. Suddenly, Alfredo shows up, and the rats hide. Alfredo apologizes to Remy for not acknowledging his efforts. He admits that without Remy, he would have remained just a garbage boy. Little does he know that Remy has already rebelled. Alfredo hears some rustling, opens the fridge, and finds it full of filthy rats. He yells at Remy for breaking his trust and kicks him out of the kitchen. The next day, the restaurant staff prepares to serve Anton Ego. He doesn't order anything. He just asks Alfredo to bring him the best dish. Meanwhile, Remy misses cooking, but Emile tells him to move on. As they rummage for food, Remy notices a mousetrap and saves Emile, only to get caught himself. It's Skinner who traps him. He wants to exploit Remy's skills for a frozen food empire. Remy lies there in disappointment and regret, while his imaginary Gusteau keeps encouraging him to follow his passion. Thankfully, his brother comes to his rescue. His father arrives too, saying that if Remy loves cooking, then he should do it. Remy rushes back to the kitchen, only to find chaos. Customers are ordering Alfredo's signature dishes, but he doesn't know how to make any of them. One of the chefs spots the rat and tries to kill him, but Alfredo stops him and reveals the truth. He asks everyone to trust Remy's talent. But none of the chefs want to be part of this disaster, and they all quit. Even Colette walks away. Alfredo gives up and hides in his office. But Remy still wants to give it a shot, this time with help from his family. His father summons the entire colony. Half of them take care of the food inspector, while the others get sanitized to work in the kitchen. Now, the kitchen is under Remy's supervision. Alfredo returns to act as the waiter. Colette comes back too and asks what dish Remy wants to serve Anton. He chooses a humble dish called Ratatouille. Anton is stunned to see such a simple choice, but after one bite, he's transported back to his childhood, back to when he'd come home after a hard day and his mother served him food. That's exactly how the dish tastes. He asks to meet the chef, but Colette says it will only be possible once all other guests leave. Later that night, Alfredo tells Anton the whole truth and introduces Remy. Anton says nothing and simply leaves. The next day, his review is published. He admits that food critics often write negative reviews just to grab attention, without caring about the chef's effort. He was once like that too, but now his perspective has changed. He finally agrees with Gusteau's belief, anyone can cook. Anton looks forward to being served by the rat chef again. Despite the glowing review, the restaurant is shut down for health code violations. Anton also loses his job for being too honest. But in the end, everything falls back into place. Remy and Alfredo open their own restaurant, for both humans and rats.